This is a clip from my postcard to the PM and Chancellor. Never mind those 4 budgets, here comes the recovery. If you agree with the postcard, please share and/or contact your MP and ask them to view it and support unfreezing the personal allowance in the upcoming budget for the benefit of all. Thank you. Government blunders. You're probably getting fed up with hearing me droning on. I've just thought of a plan for that though. So, think time. What's your top blunder of any government in the last few decades? Pause the video for as long as you want. The blunders of our governments. It should be required reading for every member of the Cabinet, shadow Cabinet and leaders of all political parties. Don't just take my word for it. Take Sir David Normington, GCB. Our subject in this book is the numerous blunders that have been committed by the British governments of all parties in recent decades. We believe there have been far too many of them, and that most, perhaps all of them, could have been avoided. But this book is not just a chance for people like me to have a painful walk down memory lane. It is very much a text for today, with lessons for all politicians and civil servants. It is a must-read for anyone coming new to government. Now, that review may have been in 2014, and the book ends in 2010, but we can already add to the 12 main cases like the poll tax or the Child Support Agency. The blunders of ill-managed PFIs are painful, the post office scandal rumbles on, and delivery of HS2, etc. However, illuminating these blunders and the continued relay of failures by successive governments has a more recent holder, Ian Dunt. Let's read the start of Ian Dunt's 2023 book, How Westminster Works and Why It Doesn't. The introduction, Failure, encapsulates a mammoth policy failure by Chris Grayling when he was appointed Secretary of State for Justice in 2013 and his decision to privatise probation. The ensuing mess and harm are outlined through to the policy's miserable failure and the end of the privatisation experiment in 2018. No one was held to account. Indeed, abject failure was in fact rewarded. Ian Dunt's introduction nears its close with the following. The British political system rewards short-term tactics over long-term strategy, irrationality over reason, amateurism over seriousness, generalism over specialism, and gut instinct over evidence. Probation is just one of countless stories about how successive governments in Britain have failed to operate with anything even approaching basic competence. They do not know what they are doing. They do not even attempt to know what they are doing. And then, when things go wrong, they do not learn from what happened. However, for me, the biggest blunder type is the length of time taken for reviews and inquiries to present findings, and then they get lost in the next crisis, or because some active ministers show how good they are with a whirlwind of announcements that don't take heed of what's been done before, or take charge of how a new policy is to be implemented. And we get these reports coming out time and time again. 2023, where have all the workers gone? Last year, Get Britain Working white paper. This one, future of an ageing population. I just Googled ageing population. I came across this by Michael Savage in The Guardian. Got lost because it came out just after the EU referendum in 2016. Michael Savage's article. Britain lost a chance to be ahead of the game, as Premier David Cameron ordered a major study into all the impacts and implications of Britain's ageing, with buy-in from Cameron, his policy guru Oliver Letwin, and then Cabinet Secretary Jeremy Haywood. The Future of an Ageing Population report made sweeping recommendations on work, training, housing, health, transport, technology and care. There was just one problem. It was published within weeks of the 2016 EU referendum, and Whitehall has been fighting crises ever since. Here's a quick flick through. Table of contents, obviously. Our introduction, working lives, lifelong learning, housing and neighbourhoods, central role for families, health and care systems, physical, social, technological connectivity, and obviously the conclusion. This is one substantial, peer-reviewed, evidence-based report with tangible common sense recommendations, and I bet it's gathering digital dust. This paragraph is from the executive summary. As the population ages, so will the UK workforce. The productivity and economic success of the UK will be increasingly tied to that of older workers. Enabling people to work for longer will help society to support growing numbers of dependents while providing individuals with the financial and mental resources needed for increasingly long retirements. Supporting fuller and longer working lives, removing barriers to remaining in work, and enabling workers to adapt to new technologies and other fundamental changes to the world of work will be critical to the nation's economic well-being. And this is the last paragraph of Oliver Letwin's foreword. The UK has a choice. Will the growing number of people in later life be predominantly empowered, skilled, healthy, and able to contribute fully to society? Or will we be increasingly unhealthy, disempowered, and dependent? Answering this challenge cannot be government's job alone. Employers will need to adapt to an ageing workforce. Families and communities have a role to play in supporting their loved ones to age well. Individuals can and must be supported to make choices which will better prepare them for a happy, productive, and fulfilling later life. Working lives, just this summary of that chapter of one part of it. Longer working lives bring significant benefits to individuals, employers, and wider society. Many of the benefits are non-financial, including cognitive and health benefits if work is appropriate in its nature. If you haven't picked up this report, you should do. It should be one of your missions for the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Back in March, this was launched. The House of Lords Economic Affairs Committee launches an inquiry into preparing for an ageing society. Here we go. Homing in. The Economic Affairs Committee is launching an inquiry to investigate the impact of ageing on the UK economy and society, the opportunities and challenges. I dug a little deeper and then watched the telly, all 3 episodes. To be fair, I did feel the questioning by the Lords was good, but I couldn't help but wonder whether, within this call for evidence, did anyone from the Economic Affairs Committee look at, read, or Google future ageing? Are we learning?